This webinar on resume writing is brought to you by the Office of Career Services at York College. We're going to cover standard resume writing rules as of 2012 since these do change somewhat with time. We will look at writing a resume section by section and what to do if you have limited data to put on your resume. First, the standard length of most resumes should be 1 page. The exception is omitting data that without it you would be doing yourself an injustice. However, not everything that can be put on a resume should go on it. Whatever data is specific to the position that you're applying for should remain on your resume as long as it's not too detailed. And it is okay to have more than one type of resume as long as each version is accurate. For example, a resume for a holiday retail job may not need to include the intensive internship in IT that you did. It is not necessary to keep the reference line on your resume, especially if it will make it go beyond 1 page. If you have trouble filling a page, then keep this reference line in. And the word I should not appear anywhere on your resume, neither in the objective nor in the description of the jobs that you've done. Use the same font and size throughout your document. The only exception is your name, which we'll look at right after. And suggested professional fonts, primarily Garamond and then Georgia Arial and Times New Roman. There is no absolute consensus as to how big your name should appear. Some say no larger than size 14, and others say it can be larger. For actors' resumes, the name should be quite prominent, but for everyone else, use your common sense and don't overdo the size because the most important thing is what the rest of your document says. It is not necessary to put the word email in front of your email address, as this is quite obvious, but do deactivate the hyperlink on your address. You know that the hyperlink is activated when it is underscored and a different color from the rest of your text. In this example, the name is prominent but not too large. The data is separated by bullets and it all appears streamlined. If you want anything to stand out on your resume, don't change the font size or the type of font. Just modify the text with italics, underscores, bolding, or bullets. And use small bullets if you must. You don't have to use bullets, but definitely do not use asterisks or arrows. The objective is the first section after your name that the employer reads, and it is meant to catch their attention. Focus, therefore, on what you will give and not get. In this first example, you see that the applicant is seeking to get something. Even if that is their true motive, you don't want to tell the employer that. The second example says, to secure a position that will allow me to apply my organizational skills, my work ethic, and my academic training to benefit your company. Again, the objective is meant to catch the employer's attention by showing that you have paid attention to the employer. You do so by reading the job description and matching what you have to what they need. When creating your resume, keep in mind that it's really all about the job description. Identify any skills that are being reiterated or stated one time but in such a strong way that you know that it's a top quality that the employer is looking for, and then make sure to tailor your objective to that job description and pepper the rest of your resume with those specific skills. In place of or in lieu of an objective, you can use a type of summary to present your skills. Summaries do allow you to be more detailed about what you can offer, but they do not allow you to mention the particular position that you're applying for like the objective does. This is borrowed from Shakespeare's Hamlet. A rose by any other name is still a rose. Well, an objective by any other name is still a type of summary. They go by these various names and others. In this example of a qualification summary, you can tell that experience in medical settings and procedures is more important to the employer than punctuality and dedication as it appears in this order in the example. Remember, always cater to the job description. While you are pursuing any degree, the education section follows the summary or the objective. After you complete your degree, you can send this section anywhere on your resume, even to the bottom. So while you're pursuing your bachelor's, education goes to the top after the objective. During the break between bachelor's and master's, education can be sent to the bottom, and once you start your master's, education goes back to the top, etc. 2 reasons why you should spell out CUNY only the first time it appears on your resume. Number 1, you should always spell out an acronym the first time it appears on a document. And number 2, not everyone knows what CUNY means, especially if you're sending your resume out of the city. Another thing to spell out is the bachelor's degree. And after your degree, you can put a comma and insert the month and year of your estimated graduation. You do not have to write estimated graduation date. You just need to put estimated or approximate or expected. And if your GPA is at least a 3.0, absolutely put it on your resume. If it is anything less than a 3.0, do not list it on your resume. In this example, you see that CUNY was spelled out at the top listing because it appears there for the first time, but it was not necessary to spell it out for LaGuardia. Once you get into college, your high school information should not be included on your resume. However, if you do not have enough college or newer information to replace your high school data with, and if your high school information is pertinent to the major that you're pursuing or to the job that you're applying for, do keep it on your resume. For the experience section, you list your jobs in chronological order. Your most recent job therefore goes at the top, the most recent below that, etc. And use professional jargon whenever possible. For example, responded to inbound phone calls sounds more professional than simply answered phones. And if any of your duties relates to what the job description is calling for and you think that it's significant, you can bold, italicize that section. It is all right to make things pop out like that. When you list an employer, only list the name of the company and the city and the state where they're located. Do not include the number of the building, the zip code, the name of the supervisor, or any telephone numbers. And Queens is the only borough where you need to mention the neighborhood instead of the borough. Be advised that Manhattan should be listed as New York, and the state is abbreviated with no periods. For each job that you're describing, there should be no more than 4 bullets. You do not absolutely have to have bullets, but definitely don't use asterisks or stars. And if 4 bullets is not enough for your descriptions, then you can omit the bullets or simply combine sentences into a small paragraph. And always remember to quantify. Numbers stand out from the words on the text, and they do impress. Quantifying is particularly appreciated for positions that are results-oriented, usually for sales or for anything where money handling is quite significant. If you have an internship, you can either list it under the experience section or under a separate heading titled internships. Either way, treat it exactly as you would a regular job. Do not underestimate internships. If you have honors or awards, include them on your resume, but make sure that they are at least indirectly related to the major or job that you're pursuing. And if you have a scholarship that is above $100, do include the number amount. A conundrum is anything that puzzles. Here's what to do if you don't know what to include on your resume because you don't have that much information. First, you can create a section titled Relevant Coursework or Related Coursework, and then list the titles of all of the courses in your major. If you're a freshman, this may be impossible to do, but once in your sophomore year, you should be able to start filling this area. Also, you can list your skills and don't limit them to things that can only be achieved in the workplace. For example, if you can get people to work together, then you're a motivator, you're a leader, and you have interpersonal or people skills. And if you get your assignments done consistently and on time, then you are goal-oriented and you're good at setting and achieving goals. Just make everything as relevant as possible to the position that you are applying for. In this slide, you see examples of courses in majors and skills. This is a list of activities where you can develop your skills, and even if you have everything that you can fill on a resume, you should still include a section titled Activities or something similar. So you can either form a study group, encourage a neighbor or a friend to start an exercise routine with you, tutor children. All of those things are activities that you can put on your resume as long as they're relevant. And once you do the activities, this is how you would list them on your resume. You would not be too detailed about how you list activities unless, of course, you have problems filling your resume. And again, though high school information is usually not included on a resume once you get into college, do put it on your resume if you have trouble filling your resume. Employers do like to see that you have experience in things other than job related, so get involved in clubs and associations on campus. A good office to visit for that is the Student Activities Office opposite of Financial Aid. Apart from this webcast, you can also watch the webcast for how to create a resume using Optimal Resume. And for written instructions on what you've seen here, you can either stop by 3M01, the Office of Career Services, and pick up some hard copy samples, or sit one-on-one with a career counselor. Thank you for watching this webcast. At Career Services, we do want you to be successful.